BDSM.
Isn't everybody usually waiting on loving BDSM? I think so. Of course, I've now said the letters B and D and S and M in the first half second of the stream. Demonetize! Hello.
I think it was actually me that said it first, so you can blame me on that one.
Yeah, but you kind of mumble. The algorithm AI overlords don't know. So, they didn't know. We should probably say hi to folks. Like, say who we are and all that. Like, as if this is a real thing and we know what the hell we're doing.
Who are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Kayla Lord.
I'm Rathstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help Kinksters have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our monthly live stream, virtual Munch. We're just kind of hanging out. But in about 30 minutes at 10 p.m. Eastern, we will take some questions as well. I'll go into that in a minute, because first I gotta say hi to everybody who was here before us. Hi X, hi Silent Wing, hi Mr. Spock, hi C. Stevens, hi Eva, hi Blue is my love, hi Kim, hi Rara, hi Nikki. I was like, wait, huh? Hi Tammy, and welcome. We love newcomers. We hope we don't scare you off. Hi Christina, hi Tayshu. I'm scrolling. Hi Computer King, I'm scrolling. Okay, I think I've said hello to everybody that's here. And in chat, I mean.
Hi, everyone.
Because we are Team Lurker around here. It is okay to be here and never once put fingers to keyboards or thumbs to keep... However it's working for you. Hi, Clarissa. Oh, we hate the freezy video thing. Hopefully it's not happening on our end. We have... what we call the green box of glory that swears our internet connection is good and strong. Hi, Molly. Hi, Brat Baby. Hello. Yeah, we've got a cat running around loose. That would be Onyx, who's very confused and skittish. I don't know if you can't see her because she's nowhere near the camera, but she can be heard. If you hear what seems like a faint, distant meowing, that would be Ella in the other room thinking she's all alone. Yeah. Oh, wow. Binging the podcast. I'm always impressed with anybody who binges the podcast.
Right?
I'm officially, a lot. Registered trademark. A lot. You can binge this. It's impressive. No, I didn't. I said hi to Eva, Mr. Spock. I said it really fast. But I said it, and if Eva didn't hear, hello, Eva. Oh, thanks, Sherilyn. Hi, Susan. Well, we have certainly given plenty of content over however many years. 7 years?
Going on 8.
I can't keep up. The years are weird because if I do math, 2022 minus 2015, that's 7. But if I count them on my fingers, that's 8. Which is it?
August will be 8.
August will be 8. Numbers are hard.
I was thinking the only reason I know that is because I was counting. I did the math. I counted fingers the other day.
See, I'm telling you. Numbers are hard. So it is, we did not get here early like we do on our Wednesday live streams. Not gonna lie, I stood up at 9:15 and went, let me go to the bathroom and say goodnight to the 12-year-old before we get ready for the stream. And that was when I remembered I had not done the dishes yet, and they definitely had to be done. And I was not doing them at midnight. And so you tried to help, but...
Yes, I did.
And I appreciate it.
And I just got in the way.
You were in my way. Yeah. Faster by myself. Thank you so much. But then I had to do that first, and then I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I still have to go to the bathroom. Oh, yeah, that's right. I get the coffee pot done before we start the stream on these, because by the time we're done, I'm exhausted. I'm not thinking about it. Oh, I still have to say goodnight to the 12-year-old. And then we slid in here at 9:28.
Yeah. So, Silent, there will be beverages. They will be forthcoming in a few moments here.
And also, you are always welcome to drink in our honor. Please. Please have all the drinks that I'm not having. Okay. I have a Diet Coke in the fridge for when I run out of the drink you're about to pour me. Hopefully those of you who are here hearing me say this live will help people who join us later if they are unaware of how this works. So just as a reminder, because we were not able to do this in April for all the reasons we've talked about numerous times already. The way we're going to work it is it's 9:30 our time zone. I don't know what your time zone is, but for the next 30 minutes, we're just going to chill. We're just going to hang out. We're just going to chit chat. We're just going to whatever. I don't know what we're going to do. At about 10 o'clock our time, I don't know what time that is for you, but in about 30 minutes, we'll start taking questions. When we start taking questions, I'll remind you of this, but when you ask a question, don't spam. We've got lovely moderators who are feisty. You will be put in timeout. And also tag us when you ask questions when it's time to ask questions so we have a better chance of seeing them. But that's not yet. That's not now. Okay, that's not now.
30 minutes.
We need to ease into this.
30 minutes.
We're easing it.
Start the clock.
Easing on it. No. I think I hurt myself.
I keep trying to warn you, but you won't listen.
So, we are here. Oh my God, Nikki. Yeah, the UK. Hi, Georgia Little. Yeah, anybody who is like ahead of us in hours and you're awake for this, thank you. But also, if you fall asleep and just like go away, it's fine. We'll totally understand. Because I turn into a pumpkin at a certain point. It's like usually 10:30 at night. So past 10:30, that feels late to me. I cannot imagine 2:30 or... Isn't it Crow who sometimes is like here for breakfast?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Okay. So while you get things warmed up, I'm going to get us some drinks.
Okay, please go. Hi, Junie. Yeah, please go get us some drinks. Because that stuff tasted delicious in the apple flavor. And now what's the flavor we're?
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Yep. Okay.
No, you're not that late at all,
No, you're
Junie.
not. You're not late. We're just getting warmed up.
Oh, margarita. I haven't had a margarita in forever. I would kill for a margarita. Nikki, you sound like JB. Not that he wants to be up at 4 a.m. And actually, when he wakes up at 4 a.m., that's an indication that things are off with him. But his typical wake-up time is 5:30. It's a strange day when he sleeps till the alarm goes off, which is 6. Because we know how to party. Tayshu, I hope you do get kicked, if that is your question. Yeah, no, are we there yet? No. If your inner bratty self wants to come out, just hold back just a little bit. So, Silent Winged, we do not have enough alcohol for me to get 2 drinks in. So, this bottle might make one full like decent sized glass, and that's all we got. No, Junie, the no chips and dip, we've been doing that on Saturday nights when we've been watching, they're not movies, but we call it family movie night. And 2, I feel very self-conscious eating and crunching like into the microphone. It's not my favorite, so. Oh my goodness. Noodles sound yummy, Junie. I would eat some noodles. Hi, Jerica. It is heartbreaking, but I have a Diet Coke waiting in the wings. So, JB walked in from picking up the 12-year-old from school this afternoon and was double fisting Diet Cokes. And he went, I bought you one.
Hey, baby girl.
Yes, Daddy.
I didn't think this through. You need to open the door for me.
Okay. I have to go off camera because we're professionals around here because somebody can't open the door if his hands are full of cider. Hold that thought, please. But yeah, he came in with 2 Diet Cokes, one for me, one for him. He took 2 sips, gave me his second Diet Coke. I've got one waiting in the wings. I'll be right back. Hope I don't knock over the camera. That would be embarrassing. Of course she does. We're coming, y'all.
Thank you.
I love that.
All right.
Okay, now I have to navigate the tripod without knocking it over.
Right. Don't pull a Lola.
No, we'll let Lola pull a Lola. Okay,
Cheers.
we're back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm have a sip now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just enjoy the cheers. We're back now. I found not A&W Zero, Junie, but I tried a diet root beer from where were we? Were we at Culver's?
Yes.
And it wasn't bad. I'm not a huge root beer fan in general, unless it's root beer float. But I can't eat ice cream because, no, I'm not doing that to myself.
Not a pretty sight, no.
But I found, I don't know. It wasn't A&W Zero, but it was like a Diet Barks. Maybe it was pretty good. I don't know. Oh, that's yummy. Oh, I can taste the strawberry.
Do you?
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to silent ask what we're drinking, so I'm going to show the
bottle. Sure. Oh, you're welcome, Brett, baby. I'm glad we could help you with that and do that for you.
This is what we're drinking.
Is it focusing? Do I need to get my head out of the shot?
There we go.
This is not comfortable, nor is it attractive. Okay, there we go. So, they don't feel very big, and it's not filled all the way up to the top, Silent Wing. And
that was the whole bottle.
I know, that's what's so sad. Do we still have vodka?
I think so.
I mean, we're supposed to do stuff tomorrow, so maybe we shouldn't get into the vodka after the cider.
Well, I have yard work. See me riding the mower with a hangover?
Oh, that'd be hilarious from my vantage point inside the house. Aw, thank you, Computer King.
You.
I would let you buy me a drink in real life. I mean, you'd have to go, hi, Kayla, I'm known as Computer King on the internet, and I'd have to go, oh, yeah, but I would totally let you buy me a drink in real life. Oh, thanks, Dustin, and hello, by the way. The vodka in the cider?
You take a shot and drop it in the...
I did a sake bomb like that one time.
Yeah.
Freaked out my former coworkers. That's why I did it. I was like, oh, you thought you were gonna... So I just downed... Yeah. Oh, I mean, I felt the hair literally growing on my chest when I did that. Yeah, you keep Lola on that side of where you are. You know what we did not do in this week's episode? Give fur baby updates.
No.
Lola is sassy as ever.
Oh, yeah.
Just like her daddy. She, anything new with her?
She burst into the bedroom.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah. This is only funny to us, but it is hilarious. Oh, X-Spot you a drink.
Oh,
I would totally be okay with that, too, in real life. Just saying. I don't know how you feel about it, but, thank you, X.
Thank you.
So this is so random, and it's only funny to me. It's okay if it's not funny to anybody else. Lola does not typically go in our bedroom. We actually have a very nice, fancier than I'm used to, baby gate on our bedroom door. So the cats can go in our bedroom all they want, but they don't have to worry about Lola chasing them. Well, over the past several weeks, every once in a while, when one of us, named JB, has been in the bedroom, he has allowed Lola to sort of walk in, and she doesn't get into anything other than she's very interested in the litter box in our bathroom.
Yeah.
She can't get on the bed. It's too high for her. She can't really do anything. She will just lay on the floor. She wants to sniff, and she's easy to get out. She's not trying to stay in there. But she usually only does it when she's invited in. She doesn't just like poke her nose in. You went to lay down for a little bit this evening after coming home with the 12-year-old, and when we close the bedroom door, we keep the gate open, or what will happen when you go to open the bedroom door is you will slam into a gate. It's disorienting.
Yeah.
So because of the cats, though, the bedroom door wasn't fully closed. The baby gate wasn't fully closed. And when I wasn't looking, Lola nosed her way in there. And quietly. I never heard her. You never heard her.
No.
And I look up.
I was sleeping.
Yeah, you had fallen asleep. I look up and I'm like, where's Lola? And I look over, I'm on the couch, and from the couch where I sit, I can see our bedroom door, and she's on the other side of the baby gate inside the bedroom, just staring at me through the bars. I was like, so what are you doing? You're not supposed to be in there. She gives me a look like, I don't know how to get out, until I stood up, and then she was like, oh, I know how to get out, don't worry. She comes out, no big deal. So I walk in, I'm making sure she didn't get into anything. I saw that you had been sleeping. I'm laughing at realizing how she sort of slunk out of the bedroom like she knew she was guilty as charged. But I walk in, I'm laughing then. But when I walk in, what I notice, so here's the doorway I'm the doorway into our bedroom. Across the bedroom on the other side of the bed, furthest corner, is a box with a humidifier that
had a humidifier in it, yes.
And Onyx is a cat. She likes boxes. She'll go in there sometimes, but not often. I walk in, and across the room, she is in the box, and all you see over the lid of the box, the top of the box, are her eyes, and they're huge, and she's looking at me like, did you see that shit too? I watched. I was paying attention. Is it over? Is she gone? At that point, that's when I laughed so hard I woke you up. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, Onyx was like, what the fuck just happened? And I was like, girl, I don't know, but let me close this damn baby gate for you. And poor Lola was like, I just wanted to go see my daddy. I don't know what the problem is. Yeah. So that's how they're all doing.
Yeah, since I've been back home, Lola doesn't like letting me out of her sight.
No, she does not. For everybody talking about the weather, we are in the very beginnings of Florida summer. It's hot as fuck, and it was hot as fuck earlier. Now it's been raining for the past, 3 hours? Downpour. Yeah,
we have hit our steady 90-degree temperatures here. And the humidity is starting to creep in.
Walked out to the car this morning to take the youngest to school and was just hit with the humidity. I was like, oh, I did not miss you. Welcome back. But you were not missed.
Yeah, no, this is just the...
And it's just the start, yeah. No, within the next couple weeks, I'm not leaving the house anyway. We all know that. But once school is out and I don't have to go out at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm not. Because the humidity's there. If I can go out before then, fine. As the sun's setting, sure. Don't want to go out any other time. Unless you're taking me for queso and chips, as we discussed earlier.
Hey, I had you out there helping me doing resin pours today.
Well, yeah, that's for business. You know, I'm mercenary. If it's going to make us money, I'm going to go do it. I'll sweat my ass off to make money. I like paying the mortgage. I'm funny that way. The weather, actually, until we got some rain tonight, it's been not bad. Our hydrangeas have bloomed. They're mostly blue. One little clump is purple. Our roses were blooming. Our jasmine's all over the damn place. It smells so good. Looks like it needs a haircut, but it smells so good.
Yeah. The hydrangea is full of color.
Yeah. It should... every day is humidity weather.
Oh, yeah.
Have I told the story of what we do with humidity in this house?
No, I don't think that.
I feel like I have, because I feel like I remember being embarrassed. If somebody in chat goes, yes, you have told that story, I will not repeat that story, because it is hilarious to me and to you, but it's also embarrassing. But every day is humidity day here. That hydrangea has a will to live like no other.
Yeah.
Because that hydrangea was purchased at a time when we went through...
stuff.
Well, we were in a streak of buying plants, telling ourselves we would totally plant them.
Right.
And then them dying in the pot. Like some really nice plants, some plants we had spent a long time looking for. One was a flea market find of a plant we desperately wanted. Dead. The hydrangea, we thought we had killed it because we just forgot it existed. And yet, you planted it right at the back of our house on a corner between the office and the dining room. There's a little bit of an L shape there.
Well,
and it's like thriving.
Well,
I wish I had that kind of will to live.
The full story to that, we were in Lowe's.
Was it Lowe's? I thought it was Sam's.
We were in Lowe's, and Kayla had always talked about how she loved hydrangeas.
I do.
So
favorite flower.
We had wandered out to the garden center, and lo and behold, they had hydrangeas there. So I told her, I said, okay, we have bought our house. This is where we are going to live. We are staying here. I am buying you a hydrangea now. And it was a beautiful hydrangea. Nice, picked it out and brought it home. Well, it never made it into the ground. And It looked like it had died. And I never even actually threw it away.
I'm remembering this story now. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So then we were on our monthly trip to Sam's Club for grocery shopping, and they had hydrangeas in a bag.
Which looked sad, but you're like,
Yeah.
they were like $6, so
Right.
couldn't even be mad at them.
So we bought 2 of them.
And then forgot them.
Yeah.
Quite like we had forgotten the first hydrangea.
Yeah. But I thought that by the time they were remembered, it was still within an acceptable time period for them to be alive. No. I planted them. Nothing ever happened.
Mm-mm.
So in the meantime, we started getting summer rain.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, I am out there in the yard one day and I see that pot with the original hydrangea from Lowe's.
I'd forgotten about this part.
And it had green leaves on it.
I thought it was the Sam's Club one, but now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, because we planted those sticks in the ground and the hydrangea sticks from Sam's remained sticks.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
And at that point, I grabbed the sucker, I trimmed off the parts that were dead on it, and immediately planted that sucker in the backyard outside the dining room window.
And it's thriving.
And it has been thriving ever since.
Yeah. I'm ready for it to get big and bushy.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that it's like full of blooms. And...
Oh, it's full of flowers this year, yeah. So that's the hydrangea story.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if we've got lots of space where that one sad little hydrangea is. It's not sad, it's happy, but it started out its life sad. Anyway, I would not mind putting more there.
Right.
Because we have 3 rose bush, well, they're not bushy, but rose
No.
bushes, put air quotes around that.
Rose bushes don't get very bushy here in Florida.
Yeah, okay, it's a Florida thing.
Yeah.
We have 3 of those in a row, all manners of like pink, from a real dark, pretty, like to a real pale.
Well,
They're
one is a
gorgeous.
peace rose.
I don't know what that means.
That is pink. The other rose was the purple one.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it was.
That one is in sad shape. That one is not holding up well. And I can't remember what the other one is, but it's a red rose, but they're small flowers.
Yeah, it's a reddish pink though. It's not like a deep.
And that
red.
one is flourishing.
But yeah, we have 3,
Yeah.
2.5 roses.
Now the peace
We need more
rose, the big
hydrangeas.
pink one, that came with the house.
Yeah, the former owner, who is our neighbor, planted that and
Yeah.
asks about the rose, asks about the orange tree, asks about the jasmine in the backyard because she can see the front yard. Consistently, not constantly, but consistently says, "Oh, I see that you haven't done anything with the oak tree other than trim it. The
Yeah.
oak tree in the front, I hope you never have to." And we are of the same mind, but it's a little weird to have your neighbor comment because they lived in this house for what, 20 plus years?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. There's a history there, but it is still a little weird.
Right.
Still a little weird. Okay, so
Teishu.
well, yeah. Of course Teishu's like the instigator, but okay.
Yeah.
So people have said I did tell this story, but they are okay if I repeat it. And it is well known I'm a story repeater, as are you. But the humidity thing. So, okay, first of all, humidities, if you are lost and confused, hopefully it's self-explanatory, but just so you know, like under the boobs, I mean, it's swamp material. For me, with perimenopause and living in Florida, that's a year-round thing. For other people, it might only be in the warmer months. I don't know. I don't know you and your boobs. But my boobs, it's a jungle under there. Like, it's one of those things that you don't just take a shower and, like, wash off. Like, I lift up a boob and clean under there. Humidity, okay? And thank you, Taste for the word, because it is brilliant. So, you are notoriously cold in bed.
Yes.
And I have a very hot internal combustion heater, but my fingers and toes might be cold. It's a weird thing. I don't understand. I blame it on perimenopause. Anyway, so we now, among all our really weird things we do on a daily basis, we have this moment at night before bed. It is part of our, we can't go to sleep without this ritual, where you will roll onto your back, and I will roll to face you. And we sleep naked. You have to understand, we sleep naked. So the humidities are out, and they're like just wherever gravity put them. And every night, as like our final good night before you turn on the sleep story and we get into our spooning position, take a boob. It is the right one because that's the one that can get to you easiest. And I lift it because these are not small boobies. And I place the warm spot that is clean, y'all. I clean the humidities on your cold arm while going, humidity! I don't know what. And you make what I can only describe as an orgasmic sigh because the heat feels so good on your cold arm. I will complain if you are not cold enough.
I know.
I don't know how there hasn't been steam coming off. And when we don't do it, you are grumpy. And I feel like that's enough humiliation for one live stream. Oh my god. Oh my god. And they're so damn heavy and it's so hot under there. I get very grumpy when you're not cold enough. I'm like, what's this sigh over here? No, you're not cold enough. I'm getting no relief. And it's only the right one. Poor left one's just smushed under me, you know. It's not getting any love. Look, if you do not know the life of lifting up your own boob to clean under it and to cool it off and to be like, oh my God, I'm very happy for you. Oh my God. Yep, you're right, Sally. 9:55, I'm already broken. Oh my God.
And she's only had a few sips of her drink.
Broken and sober. That's the sad part, Ginny.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, C. Stevens, for being an instigator as well. I just saw further over the chat. Silent quoted me. I don't know you and your boobs. It's true. Not going to be presumptuous. Well, I'm just saying, if your boob can touch your rib cage or whatever this part of your torso is, you got humidities, whether you know it or not. Maybe only for a couple months a year. I'm a Florida girl. Those things are year round, and God help me if there's a hot flash, because for me, my hot flashes tend to come from the center of my body out. So it's like, okay, it's already swampy under there. Let's just add molten lava to it.
Yeah, okay. X, I don't know that life either. I just live it vicariously.
You get to enjoy the fruits of the humidities. Really just one humidity. How quickly did we get demonetized tonight? We'll find out later. You know, Ginny, we do. We really do. We really do. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and so I mean, mine have gotten bigger as I've gained weight. They were never like super small. My mom, who is even after getting reconstructive surgery and could pick her size, she was like, just give me what I had. So she's like an A+ cup, almost a B cup. She, for my whole life, my whole boobed life, she was like, I don't know where the hell you got those from, because you didn't get them from me. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But I never got to like needing surgery maybe to reduction because of back, but they definitely, when I gain weight, my face gets rounder and my boobs get bigger. And then, you know, childbirth and age, and they just don't even sit where they never sat where I'd like them to sit. Me. But they're like more tired than they were 15, 20 years ago. And so there's a lot more surface area for the swamp effect. I am wearing a bra now. So wearing a bra does decrease humidity, but it does not eliminate it. You know, Tayshu, JB's the big spoon, but he can't actually put his arm around me because I freak out and go, "Stop touching me!" It's very romantic in bed with us. We're clearly a very loving couple.
Unique. We're unique.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, Halloween. Oh yeah. Furnace hands? No, they're not allowed to touch humidities. That's no. Only come at me with cold hands. I think if we lived where there was snow and you had hot hands, I'd be like, I'm so sorry, you're gonna have to brave frostbite and go dip them in the fucking snow. Then you can come at me. You did try fairly recently. You had been holding something cold, and you reached out to touch me like I was supposed to jump, and I was like, thank you. Actually, I really appreciate that.
I know. Wrong effect. Yeah.
You cannot get me with that one. Ha ha ha. Okay. As I am being my goofy self, I look down and I see that it is 10 p.m. our time zone. Would I put a humidity sticker on the the Loving BDSM Etsy shop? Yes, I probably would. I will buy that artwork from somebody if they offer commercial usage of it. So just in case anybody's got some graphic skills and won't charge me an arm and a humidity for it. Anyway, I'm not an artist, so I buy the art and then I produce things and I sell it. And yes, I would totally do that. Could that be the first Loving BDSM t-shirt? It could. Anyway, it is 10 o'clock. For those of you who are new here, it both is and isn't like that when we just hang out and we don't have a direction. It really is. So now we're in the portion of absolutely we will keep chit-chatting. If nobody's got questions, no problem. I can certainly find something to say at any given moment. But now is the time when, yes, if you have a question you'd like us to answer, whether you just want our perspective on something or you want to know something about us, or you have a thing in your own kink life and you're like, I'd like your take on it, to ask a question, please tag us in the live chat. It is, once y'all start chatting, it goes fast and it's hard to see. So it's like at Loving BDSM, and from our side, it like lights up and I can see it. So feel free, if you ask a question and we can't answer it, we are not afraid to go, we can't answer that. I will go ahead and preemptively say, you can ask questions about switching. We are not qualified to answer those questions. We highly recommend Rara, who's in the live chat, her podcast, Pink Kink Podcast, or Evie's channel here on YouTube for anything like that. We'll please don't. We'll just have to go, we can't answer that because we're not switches. But yeah, feel free when you're ready, and until then, we'll keep chit-chatting. Tayshu thinks he's very funny. Tayshu's our class clown. But since he gave us the term humidity, all is overlooked and forgiven.
Have another drink.
Evil sticks. Jessica asked about the evil sticks. They are teeny tiny evil canes, essentially.
Yeah.
We have on the Kinkery site, thekinkery.com, link in the thing below because it's always there. On the evil sticks product page on our site, there is a video of JB talking about it and discussing it. It's on all the way to the left, top shelf. Thank you. He went to go get one. Oh God, is this the portion of the show where you hit me with something?
Maybe.
God damn it, I'm not drunk enough for this.
I can't get the box open.
Yeah, it's been a pain in the ass. I was tempted to paint my nails, and then I tried to open that and almost took a nail off and went, never mind. They are not necessary. You can, because you can do what you want. They're not meant to be like whacked at somebody like you would a cane or a paddle. Please don't break inventory. I'm going to get my head out of it so maybe somebody can see it. Many people tend to use it where they hold it and they pull back at the tip and they let it go. Oh God. It hurts. It hurts so bad. It hurt. Go ahead. God
Ready?
damn. Go ahead. You actually went easy on me, and it was through clothes. On what I've had my wand moment with the evil stick. Okay, thank you very much. I'm very proud of myself for that. What am I trying to say? I lost my train of thought. Something is flying around my cup. They are fragile. So, like with our Delrin canes, that's really bendy. You can like pull usually kind of way back and let go. You pull too far back on an evil stick, it will break. It's carbon fiber rod. You rubberize the tip so as not to cut, so people can't cut themselves. You probably still could if you were trying hard enough, but we'll let that be between you and your kinky gods. But yeah, to me, it's like a mini wand.
Yeah.
It's great for real close up, the hard to reach spots. You don't have to go in hard. You don't really need to if the person who's being hit with it is super sensitive to pain. Anyway, it doesn't take much. On my skin, it tends to leave red marks. I have no clue if the camera can pick. I can see them, but I don't know if the camera can pick those up.
Here, let's.
I'm good. So, yeah, if you have more specific questions, feel free to ask, or you can email us through the shop or whatever. That's fine. Let's see. Nikki asked, do I want postcards? Absolutely. Please send postcards if you don't mind paying the postage, because I know that's coming from the UK. Our mailing address.
Pinup postcard? Yes, I love pinups.
Our mailing
Big
address
pinup
is in the
fan.
description box. And Silent Wing, if you would like to mute Taishu, I leave that in your capable hands. Let's see. Computer King, we only promote podcasts we've listened to, and that we feel comfortable going, yeah, that's a podcast that we know about and we're good with them. So if somebody has a podcast and they want us to consider it, the best way to let us know is to email us. We have a contact page on our website, lovingbdsm.net, and it typically is JB who then listens to
True.
That's true. So that is how that comes about.
Yeah.
Please don't make us bigger. I certainly don't need any help being made bigger. But please make me bigger than I already am. So, Yarn and Whiskey said, I barely joined in just in time for the fairy Dom father. My favorite was the pinky up.
Right,
I mean,
right.
you know, the height of decorum and sophistication. Oh yeah, hi Maggie. We just got started mostly, so welcome. Okay. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So we should have taken bets on would the questions require inflicting me with pain or getting me to rant. I know we should probably keep a tally.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, Silent Wing. Yeah, no, I'm not wearing makeup. You'll be able to see all the pores. I always feel bad for anybody who puts us on as background noise either during the live stream or later when it's a video version and they're not watching the live chat because half of what we say makes no sense at all. So, yeah, feel free. Any other questions anybody has, just make sure you tag us. Don't spam. That's the thing I forgot to say when we started the Q&A portion. Don't spam. Our moderators will take you out. No, I'll just put you in timeout. Oh, Jerica asked, how did we meet? Through my sex blog.
Through your blog.
Through my very sex
Yeah.
blog.
Yeah.
That technically still lives on the internet. I just don't do anything with it anymore.
I know. Same here with mine. Yeah, I was blogging about BDSM, and I came across her blog.
I was at the time you came across it. I think was I blogging the breakup, or was it pre-breakup?
You were blogging both about your breakup and discovering your sexual self.
Well, I started my blog discovering my sexual side. That's why it's called A Sexual Being. But if you met me in the middle of my first and thankfully only DS breakup, and you still stuck around, wow. I don't know how I did not. I was intense. I mean, much like I am now. I was just unhappy and intense. But yeah, you started commenting on
your blog,
on my blog,
and then you started reading my blog and
right,
commenting.
because you were doing a like kinky elf on a shelf picture series.
Yes.
For the holidays.
Correct.
And then weirdly, I did a thing I don't think I've done even to this day. I'd never done it before, haven't done it since. You were so kind to me, and I had such a good vibe chatting through our comment sections that I reached out to you, I think through the contact page of your site or whatever, and basically just said thank you for, like, you know, being a decent human being, and you've made me laugh, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. And that is where it started, because once it was out of comments and into email, it very quickly went from email to text, and we basically just never shut up.
Pretty much.
Our first, what we consider...
And then next thing I know, I'm hopping on the motorcycle, heading up.
It was a few months later.
Well,
our first official conversation, like on the phone conversation, which is when we consider we actually, air quote, met, was Christmas Eve, or Christmas Eve. I was putting together a tricycle for one of the kids. The youngest? Yeah, because it was like one of those plastic, like, ones. It wasn't like a real trike. It was whatever. And we ended up talking on the phone, and I was like, look at me, I'm doing this thing. And you were like, good job. And it was completely platonic, and I was still like, I was not interested in anything. And I can't remember, you weren't interested in anything, or you kind of were, but you knew where I was at. So
I kind of knew where you were at. And
the whole internet did if they saw my blog. I just bled all over.
Well, I just said you slid into my DMs.
But I had read the bio first, okay? So.
But yeah, I kind of knew where you were at.
Yeah, but were you interested even though you knew where I was at, or were you like,
I was interested, and I was like, I was kind of of mind, like, you know, well, if something happens, it happens. If not, if it doesn't.
And I was over here going, nothing's going to happen because I won't let it happen.
And I think what really got you, one time we were talking, and I just told you, I was like, look, I just want you to be happy. And, you know, if you meet somebody that makes you happy, that's all I care about.
I did not. I tried to date while you and I were talking, while you and I were flirting, while you and I were having phone sex. Like, I tried to date others, and nah. Just, nah. So, yeah, that's technically how we met. I think somewhere way back in the podcast archive, like double-digit episodes, like 80-something, I think might be where we
talk about it.
I think we have an episode called Our Origin Story.
Maybe, yeah.
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 I'm pretty sure if you went to the website, lovingbdsm.net, link in the places, because of course, on the search bar, if you typed in origin story, it might come up, because I thought I referred to it as Our Origin Story.
Might be, yeah.
So,
well, you know, I just want you all to know, because I see the reaction to the elf on the shelf.
I want to say shelf on the elf. Appropriate. Put a fucking shelf on that goddamn elf.
I'm not fond of it either, but I had a good time kinkifying it.
Yeah. Maggie's got a good question. How do we manage to do stuff like impact play with the kids living at home? So we were blessed in the beginning. Well, in the very beginning, when we first were getting together and we were long distance, we only met when there were no kids around. When we moved in together, 2014, the kids were really heavy sleepers.
Yes.
Like, we could kind of do whatever, and they almost never heard. We had to be kind of careful, but it was a shock to us the day they finally heard a smack, and two little heads popped out of their bedroom door and went, what was that? We were like, oh, I dropped something, or I clapped. We lied through our teeth. When in the condo that we lived in before we moved to the town we live in now, technically it was considered split plan. So their bedroom was like at the front and our bedroom was at the back. I had to stop being a screamer once the kids lived with us. Orgasmic screaming, pain screaming, not allowed to scream. So that's part of it. But we played a lot with floggers, which can be, depending on how you play with a flogger, quieter than a paddle. Canes are super quiet as long as you don't scream. So that was part of it. But for a year, we lived in a house with the thinnest walls and the kids literally across the hall from us.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
That was misery. And in that case, we barely played.
Right.
But we would either play when they were not home. Like, now, granted, we work from home now. So we have the luxury to kind of just pick and choose our time. But even when you still worked in an office, there would be times you'd take a vacation day or, air quote, sick day just to stay home while they were gone, and we would get our kink on then.
And there were times, too, when we lived in the Tampa Bay area, the dungeon that we belonged to there, they had a morning daytime play. So once a month we'd take the kids to school, push them out of the car, go to school, go, and we'd head to the dungeon and play.
If you yourself are naturally loud, that's a hard thing. I mean, it's I think for many of us it's probably doable to kind of mute yourself. I don't feel things less, but I gain less pleasure when I can't be loud. But I'm now so used to not being loud anymore that I've adjusted. If it's just that you don't have those opportunities right now because maybe kids are younger or they just need you more, for most of us, they will grow out of that. Eventually, for most kids, they're going to be old enough to have their own lives, and we're experiencing that now. We could do so much more than we do because the 16-year-old is hardly ever home.
Right.
And since we work from home, we have the luxury of the 12-year-old being gone. But in a few years, he's going to have his own social life, and it'll almost be like we don't have kids at home.
Yeah.
We'll have more time.
And I mean, one of the things we found to do, too, even when the kids are home, we started doing things that were a little more on the quiet side. Like she mentioned the floggers. We have some suede floggers. I have one that's a very large suede. I have a smaller one that's a deer hide. And, those are not very loud. We started playing with wax play, doing hot wax, which does not really make a whole lot of noise. Messy, but not very, very noisy. So, we kind of do things like that, and we'd have music playing,
And sometimes music just isn't enough. It depends on how close quarters everybody is. It depends on how, if they're like their bedrooms are close at night and they're light sleepers, that just sucks. When I worked in an office, I would absolutely take a day off from work and still send my kids to daycare/school. If you have that kind of access, if you have that the luxury of that, depending on, how you're employed, whether you're employed, what the benefits are, use it. The thing I tend to just remind parents, especially if it's small kids become big kids, and then it feels like it will be forever, but it really won't. But yeah, it was when we could not really do impact play in that rental house. Jesus God, we could not.
No, that was
you could hiccup and somebody across the hall could hear you. It was so bad. That's when we started looking at really quiet things. We started exploring different kinks because impact was so hard to do.
Correct.
Because we could not get our shit together to get kinky when nobody was around.
Right.
Yep. We had another question. I saw it. Sad Doggo asked, how does fetish intersect with BDSM? Like, I recently found out there's a community for spanking fetish, but they don't identify it as a BDSM subculture, and that kind of confused me. I'm not going to lie that on some level that would kind of confuse me too, simply because spanking fetish, whether your fetish is to spank or to be spanked, somebody's a top and somebody's a bottom, and to me that falls within BDSM. However, people can define things the way they want. And I think Ra already really answered it. A fetish is something that you need for sexual gratification, whether it's just the orgasm or it's a thing that turns you on. BDSM itself doesn't have to be about sex. So the act of spanking can be impact play under, most would put it under sadomasochism because there's usually pain involved. Under the umbrella of BDSM, you can have a spanking fetish that it's not about the power and control and pain, but it is something else about the spanking that turns you on or is the only way you're going to get off. And I could see how some people might go, okay, that's not BDSM. The way I look at how spanking occurs, I'm still, I personally for myself would go, that's still kind of BDSM. But I get it that people would.
I think it's kind of like tottering the fence.
Yeah. It's a gray area for sure,
Because, I mean, even for you and I, there are times spankings can be sexual. And then there are other times
it's not sexual at all.
It's not sexual at all.
Will a good spanking during sex get me off? Yes. Do I need a spanking in order to feel sexual gratification or pleasure? No. I enjoy the fuck out of it.
Right.
So for me, I wouldn't label spanking a fetish of mine. And then there's, if it's a fetish for somebody, and they're not considering it part of BDSM, then I would go, okay, so I would ask questions, I would not assume, but for these purposes, I'm going to assume it's not about the power. It may not be about the pain. There's something else about it that is the sexual gratification that does not, for that person, fall within the umbrella of BDSM. But also, by my definition, it could still fall under the umbrella of BDSM. But if somebody else goes, but to me it's not, you go, okay, it's not. To them, that's all that matters.
I mean, what it comes down to, I think, is a matter of perception.
Sure. What is happening with the chat? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So, yeah, and the thing to remember about fetishes can be literally anything. They can be an object, they can be an act, they can be a sensation, they can be anything, and it is tied to sexual pleasure in some way. Whereas a kink activity doesn't have to be about sex at all. And it can be about an act, a sensation, a power trip, whatever, control, whatever. But fetish means that it's sexual on some level. Sexual, no, that's not the right way to say it either. It's not sexual on some level. It is part of the way you get turned on and you get off. Because spanking to me can be sexual on some level, and I would not call it my fetish. Definitions get complicated.
Can be.
So, I'm hot.
Have a drink.
I'm not sure that's going to help me not be hot.
Well, I've got both ceiling fans going, the window fan going,
not enough.
doing what I can here.
I'm an internal combustion engine. I'm amazed there's not steam coming out of my nipples. I mean, that was generous of me to point up and out and in a straight line. It's generous. Or wishful thinking. I don't know. Okay. Maggie said, oh, thank you. Maggie's complimenting my hair. The color is the natural color that's coming out of my scalp. The sides are white. Certain parts are gray, certain parts are silver, and somewhere in there is the original brunette that I once was.
Welcome to my world.
I know. Yeah, but can I point out that it kind of makes more sense for you at 60 than maybe it does for me at 42. And also, I have, I think, more white hair, at least on top of my head. I don't let my beard grow out. I tweeze and wax that shit. Than you have on your hair. But also, I don't think it'll be the next time I get my hair done, but sometime this summer, I intend to get it dyed again, and I'm gonna do vivid colors. I've been talking to the person who does my hair now, and I like her and I trust her, and they have like 5 different shades of purple. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to go through the entire purple rainbow
range to find which one you like.
And at one point, I don't know if I can do it with
this
small amount of hair. I wouldn't mind the rainbow. I would not mind some other colors I would not normally put on my head. I think there's definitely going to come a point where there's going to be a hot pink, because of course there is. So, I like my cut. I don't always love how it looks because I got this big old moon face, and I just don't always love it. The face or the cut with the face. But I do like how short it is, and I like how it feels, especially if I actually do something with it, which I have not, which is why I keep touching it, I guess. The color, I am supportive of anybody who's like, fuck dyeing my hair. I'm gonna let my natural color be out. Clearly I'm not afraid to be seen with my natural color, and yet I'm over here going, I really need a color on this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So Halloween, you stop that with that Kia yellow. Stop that. We're not going there. We're not going there.
The Buttercup crew.
That's not funny.
There was another question, by the way.
Nikki asked, any tips for someone newly exploring primal submission, like growling, biting, being caught?
Yeah, like being prey.
Yep. Okay.
It's kind of the same as exploring any other aspect of BDSM. You know, you want to take your time.
You want to be very clear with your partner.
Very, very clear with your partner. What you mean, what you want,
what you don't want.
You know, just like any other aspect of BDSM, you know, have a safe word. You know, and enjoy it, and realize that not every time everything's going to play out to expectations.
Mm-hmm. I could absolutely, and because it's happened to us on a small level, you may discover you have things that freak you out in a negative way, whether they rise to the level of triggers or just below that, in the middle of play. So we recommend safe words. I definitely know that some people with primal play don't like to do safe words. I kind of don't care. I think most people should have safe words, but have a way that's communicated between you and a partner, but how you're going to stop, how either of you is going to stop if you hit a landmine of, I thought that would be okay, and that is definitely not okay, right. And I'm now thrown out of the headspace, and we got to stop. Because in our experience with certain primal play that we've engaged in, it's been a long time, but there would be times where my head was no longer in it. Something had happened. I was kind of freaking out, and you were so far in the headspace, you weren't reading my cues. I had to speak up. So if you're not comfortable speaking up with a partner now, get comfortable. Do I have hair in my mouth? I think I do. I do. Oh, that's okay. I did like hand through hair earlier, and a white hair fell out like right on my face. I'm not a fan. Anyway, yeah, I do not know of any specific sources. Rara, have y'all talked about that on your podcast? Because if you have, feel free to pimp your own podcast, because we like it and we pimp it. But also, you know, I think, did Evie do a video on it? I've not been queuing up with my video watching, so I cannot remember.
I have fallen way behind in my video and anything.
I don't know of a single place where that's all they talk about, but I know that people who talk about kink in broad ways, kind of like the way we do, where we try and touch on a lot of different topics, we eventually talk about it. So those would be the sources I would look for. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Spades Girl. Thank you. It was very strange not to be podcasting for several weeks. I know. It also felt strange to come back and podcast, but we're definitely glad to be back.
Yeah.
Hi, Andre. We missed y'all too.
We did.
See, Rara will be doing an episode on Primal.
See?
Weeks. There you go.
Cool.
Be on the lookout for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I'm very hot. Very, very hot. Okay, Junie knew. Evie has a lot of Primal 101 videos.
Okay. Yeah,
our Primal play is something that, of all the things we do, is probably the most organic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we tend to be planners, you mostly, but we tend to plan all other types of play we do, but Primal is usually comes from a feeling that we're both having.
Right.
Or one of us has it and the other one responds to it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this, Nikki, if you go to our website, lovingbdsm.net, we have a page of resources. Both Pink Kink Podcast and Evie are linked on that page. So that might be an easy-ish kind of way to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it will make me feel hot or silent wings. I don't care. It tastes good. I wish there was more, but I don't know if I need to loosen up that much. We're in a season of life that if I drank too heavily, it would not be dancing on the tables drunk. It would be crying in a corner drunk. So a very, very, very light buzz is enough. But I am very hot.
Yeah, the time we drank the other bottle, I just fell asleep on the sofa.
You did.
Yeah. So,
I continued to eat potato chips all night is what I did.
I'm an exciting person after a few drinks.
I mean, if I recall, didn't we drink that right after you had just gotten home or on one of your weekends?
Right after I had just gotten home.
Yeah. So I'm glad you didn't pop open the second bottle because you would have been the weepy drunk or the snoring drunk.
Yeah.
Hi, Path Girl.
Hey, Path Girl. Welcome.
So, Ooh, okay, Jerica has tagged us, says, started talking to somebody on a dating site, and he told me that I expect a lot from my sub, and complete submission, the word no does not exist. I want you to do what I ask without question. I'm already vomiting a little bit in the back of my throat. Mm-hmm. Are there people who can negotiate that and make that work for them? Yes. But...
Right, yeah.
To have started talking to somebody on a dating site, and that's what they're opening with? I mean,
right.
We are at a ticker tape parade of red flags at this point.
Yeah.
Bouquets of red flags for everyone.
It's snowing red flags.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good way to start. Are there people that have dynamics
like that? Sure.
Like that,
but
absolutely.
God, you don't come out the gate like that.
No, that's something that they have taken the time to work into and negotiate. And they do have fail safes and different things built into it. So no, that is something that's run.
Oh, it continues. It gets even worse. Oh. Would everybody like more red flags? Jerica, you already know our answer. Run like hell. But continues. And when you're ready, I want you to make a video saying, Lee, I am your sub and I will obey and follow your leadership. Only do this when you're really ready. And Jerica says, that doesn't seem right to me. It's not. And I guess that person will, hopefully, I'm encouraging you to never send that video.
Yeah, no, it is not right at all.
No. Mm-mm. So I try not to be, I'm a nervous Nelly. I know who I am. Okay. The anxiety is strong. So I try not to be the person who's like, watch what you record, watch what you send to somebody. But the fact that the way this person thinks you're going to show submission is to record yourself on video and send them that video. All I can think is, what the fuck are they going to do with that video later? Like, is that their evidence later when they do something like really dangerous and harmful?
Yeah.
And they could be like, well, look, they said, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I it's probably not that nefarious, but after 85 other red flags, that's just where my mind goes. No, none of that's right. So can you negotiate a relationship where you choose to give up and it's not really giving up, put a lot of air quotes here, give up the power to say no? You can choose that, but there still has to be a way to stop all play because nobody's infallible. And no matter how great a dom is, they can fuck up and you might need to say no in whatever way that looks at. Like, yeah, but that's not what you start with. That's not step one. That's like step 100. That's like, we've been together for a very long time and we have gone through some real shit together and we have each earned each other's total trust. And still, that's still not the right thing for a lot of power exchange folks. Like, it's just, it's not going to work. But to be told that you're basically going to give up all your rights to yourself and autonomy and
I mean,
no,
you know, let's put it this, you know, sending him a video, you know, this is the person you just met on a dating site. What do you know about him?
Right.
I mean, when Kayla and I first met, we met online, and I did not hide anything from her. I gave her my personal information. I gave her my address. I gave you the link to my
and then I
Facebook.
I
and,
cyber stalked you a little bit.
well,
I found
you know,
I found more about you than you had given me because you gave me the information to be able to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I earned her trust because
Not because you gave me that information. That was helpful. You earned my trust by being who you said you were. So people will talk good game and tell you who they are. I don't give a fuck what you tell me you are. Show me who you are, and then, and this is key, keep being that person. Don't show me once and then start a pattern of some bullshit behavior, because I'm not going to believe the thing you showed me once. I'm going to believe the thing you showed me 85 times. I'm going to believe the pattern I see. So the process of starting on the path to trust is, tell me who you are. Be upfront. Admit that you're human and fallible. Admit that this is a back and forth negotiated thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me see what you do. And then you get to have my trust, and only fucking then. Oh, God, yeah, Jericho, you just started talking to this person today?
Gosh,
No. Block,
Yeah.
blockity, block. Not worth your time. Total faker. Potential predator, but doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
I am sure that stuff works on some people, but those are the people who we really would like to take under our wing and hug. And that's the thing. You read that, heard that, whatever, and your spidey senses started tingling because your question was, wait, is that right? Listen to that. Listen to that. I mean, will you maybe come across somebody who says all the right things and the spidey senses might not tingle for a while? Sure. But when you have that reaction of, that doesn't seem right, then it's not right. It doesn't even matter if somebody else would go, oh, I think that's fine. Okay, they can think whatever is fine. If you have that reaction, listen to it. That is your gut, your instinct, your intuition, however you define it, screaming at you. Listen to it. It was right. Now, all that's bullshit. All that's bullshit. We are in the middle. We're in the Macy's Day Parade of nothing but red flags from start to finish.
Yeah. Here, I mean, from what you told us that he has said to you, and now knowing that this is, today was the first day you talked to him, usually there's a handy little feature on those sites.
Blockity, block,
Yep.
block.
Block,
Hell,
blockity,
report.
block.
Okay.
Ooh,
Thank you, Jericho, for that mini rant. I'm very hot now. If this is not YouTube, I would probably take my shirt off. I'm not taking my shirt off, even though it's YouTube. Nobody wants that. Computer King asked, did we make DS vows or have a ceremony when you decided to enter a dynamic?
No, we did not.
We did do a quick Google Doc, air quote, contract.
Yeah. I mean, we did a little contract. I did actually talk to her about coloring, having a formal coloring ceremony. Ugh, I can't talk now. And that was when we were first living together. And you told me that you would consider it, but not unless you had a ring on your finger.
Right. I do consider collaring right up there with a wedding band. And because of how I view weddings, it's commitment, but it's really the tax breaks and legal protections. If you can collar me, and because we both agreed it was that serious, I was like, if you can collar me, you can marry me.
Right.
I will take the tax break and the insurance. Thanks.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
And I know not everybody sees it that way, and that is okay. That you don't have to get married and be like that's just how I viewed it, because it's, for me, that's that kind of the commitment on both sides was important to me, and also the legal aspects of marriage. I was like, yes, please. Now, had I had doubts about us, we would not have been talking about marriage.
Right.
Been there, done that. Fun fact that has nothing to do with this and yet is on my mind. If I had had even the slightest off vibe, one, I don't think we would have been DS, but two, I would not have ever mentioned marriage because
Right.
I'd done that the first time, right? Okay, so here's the connection. Yesterday.
Hmm?
What day is May 19th?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. 20 years ago yesterday, I married my first husband. And I looked at you from the couch yesterday. I was like, 20 years ago today, I got married. So I would never have mentioned, because I thought I was never going to get married again. So I would never have mentioned marriage if I didn't know it was serious. But because I consider them for me on par with one another, then I was like, if you can collar me, you can marry me. But we never had a formal or official collaring ceremony either.
No, we never.
And now my social anxiety is so bad, I'd be like, I'm so sorry, I don't think we can do that. Aren't I a delight, and aren't you glad you love me? I love you very much. I really hope I bring something to the table, because... Anyway. Okay, Jerica gave us more information. It was on Facebook dating, and his profile was barely had anything on it, and then his Facebook page doesn't really have it on it. I am very aware that there are exceptions to every rule, and that it's hard to like make blanket statements about, oh, if you see this, always see that. Like, I cringe at trying to do that. But one of my things about engaging with certain types of people online, especially if it's going to be like some intimate kind of thing, or that's what the idea would be. If you can't give me basic, not I'm super kinky and I live at this address and my real name is, but like if you can't give me some information about you and you seem to be a blank slate, like that makes me go, no, thank you. And I know part of that could be my own anxiety. I like to know what I'm getting into before I get into it. But for me personally, that just ends up being one of my things where that's a sign that I'm like, okay, we're moving on. Like, I don't know who you are and I don't know what your purpose here is, and I can't figure it out before I have to have what may be an uncomfortable conversation with you. No, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I go through, what is it Facebook has now? The Marketplace. And kind of hate to say it, but Facebook is kind of becoming the new Craigslist.
I believe that. Okay. Sad Doggo has a question. I have been wondering for a while how you explain the difference between solo kink play and self-harm to a doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, etc. That seems very complicated. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure there is a way, because solo kink play would be about what you're getting. I think it's about your mindset about why you're doing something and the intention behind it. So in self-harm, from my very uneducated understanding of it and opinion, tends to come from a place of trauma or mental illness or something going on with you, and this is a relief, whereas solo kink play is a relief and could be therapeutic for somebody, but one, it tends not to be permanent. It tends most of the time not to leave scars. There is absolutely an education to kink play. You have to learn skills in order to be able to do it and do it properly and do it safely, where I went through a very brief period 30 years ago, 25 years ago, where there was a little bit of self-harm in my life, and I had no intention of trying to be safe. Like, that was not, safety was not the thing. Like, I wasn't trying to learn a skill. I wasn't trying to make sure I was safe. I wasn't trying, like, I think it's an intention behind it. And I guess my next question would be, do you have to tell your doctor, your therapist, your medical professional about your solo kink play? I mean, I guess if they see a bruise or they see something and they ask a question, these days in the year of our Lord 2022, you could probably just go, I'm kinky and I do kinky things. I don't think you have to go further than that. unless your kink play involves things that might leave scars, then yeah, I could see where that would be awkward. But I think if you're able to explain the process of the thing, where you learned about it, your intention behind it, if that medical professional is open-minded enough, which is the part that you won't know most of the time until you start talking, they can see the difference between the two. That being said, that is a completely theoretical answer. That is a completely theoretical answer. But my thing would be, unless asked a direct question that can't be deflected, do you have to tell the medical profession about your solo kink play? Like, you know, I could see where there might be times where they kind of demand an answer. If you can say you like to get kinky, I think most people would probably go, oh, okay. And then they're now uncomfortable and probably don't want to talk about it. But if I had to, from my own minimal experience many, many years ago to my experience with kink, that's how I would differentiate. It's about intention. It's about, you know, why you're doing a thing and how you're doing a thing. Mm-hmm. But if anybody has more experience with this, personal, that they're willing to share, feel free in the live chat. I think I see Nikki already, because yeah, that would be very complicated, I think. So Jerica said, I totally blocked him. Good for you.
Good.
Thank you. Andre said, how rude. Lola only showed her nose, missing the Lola fix. She's in the background snoring. I don't know if the mics are picking that up. Yeah. And thank you, TWTRV.
Oh, thank you.
So, Computer King asked, have you done or will you do an episode comparing the various kink dating app sites that are out there? We have considered it.
Yeah.
We've even had a couple of apps and sites approach us to sponsor like content, and you know, y'all know I'm mercenary. Like, I like to be paid, but then I'll go look at their site or their app, and I'm like, I don't want to send anybody.
I had signed up for one of the apps.
We were thinking about doing a sponsorship with them.
They had approached us for a sponsorship, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out, and you know, maybe I'll meet somebody.
Right.
And it was a shit show. I was just being constantly spammed by 21-year-olds.
The most recent one that reached out to us, they were like, oh, we'd love to partner with you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, okay, maybe. But I always like to go check these things out first.
Yeah.
They're an app. I did not download the app, but I went to the reviews. And I like to read the most recent reviews, not the ones from 85 years ago.
Right.
And that, on this one, which was different from that one, those were the same comments. I'm just getting spammed by bots or by, you know, people on OnlyFans, which there's nothing wrong with being on OnlyFans.
No,
but if you're there
not.
trying to, like, find a date, it's like, I don't want to, I'll watch your videos later. Right. But that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah. The date goes bad, I'll go and check out
right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there's some good ones out there, but I have not come across any that I even want to talk about. So, or send people to. So the idea of putting together one to try to compare is a little exhausting, because I feel like based on my limited experience, it's going to be like, this one sucks too.
Yeah.
This one sucks too.
You're poly in theory.
Yeah, it involves people. That's hard.
Yeah.
I've developed a couple of crushes lately that I will do nothing about, but they exist.
But I just from the horror stories that I've heard from most people on dating sites, it doesn't really appeal to me. And you know, if I meet somebody organically, fine. If not, okay. So you know, I've kind of steered away from the dating apps.
Yeah, it's still kind of on our list. It's one of those things where, especially if we come across one or two that we're like, yeah, we could recommend this. They don't have to sponsor me for me to recommend something. Then I might be willing to put together kind of a list. But there's just so many that and it's a personal thing, because me getting a bad vibe somewhere does not mean that anybody else might. But I don't want to talk about something where the moment I arrive on their platform, I'm like, oh God, I need a shower now. Or, oh, this is given. Like,
Yeah.
that's, So it's kind of on the list, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
a top priority. Scrolling.
You know, but that's why I like to attend munches and workshops and things like that, so I can be out and meet people.
Yeah. I think that's probably where we show our age a bit. Or like, I'd
Probably.
like to go meet people. I'm
Yeah.
like, I would normally used to go, could you comment on my blog? Do you have a blog I can read? And now, sometimes when I get comments on my blog, I'm like, ew, get off my lawn. Like, I just... But also, I can't meet anybody in person because then that's going to require eye contact and a conversation. Like,
You're like the poster child for anti-dating.
yeah, I just sort of need people to fall in my lap and be okay. I mean, I have such a high risk intolerance that I'm certain I see things as red flags that aren't really red flags. So it's easy for me to push people away. It's very difficult to let them in close. So if you happen to like get lost in the forest and find me like the witch in Hansel and Gretel, I will absolutely let you stay, but I don't know how you got here. Okay, let's do questions. Spades Girl asked, I've heard a lot about FetLife. What is it, and is it a good app? FetLife is a fetish and BDSM social media platform.
It is both good and bad.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like most any other social media site.
But it is made specifically for kinksters. Like,
right.
That's its sole audience.
That is its sole audience and who it is marketed to. I like it. I use it for the sole purpose of finding munches, of finding workshops, of finding cons, you know, different things like that. Conventions. Thank you. Excuse me. So that's, you know, how I use it. When I came into the community, so few years ago.
Only 20 plus years ago. It's fine.
You know, it was a way for me to connect with people in the local community, you know, that I grew to know over time. So, you know, it is good and bad. You can find out about events in your area. You can, you know, different things. Many
you can find
areas,
groups of like-minded
like-minded folks. I mean, many areas have munches. Some have started very specific munches, like they have rope munches. They have coffee socials, you know, and these things are all found through FetLife.
And you can meet people there.
Yeah.
It is like every other site on the planet, though. Will people slide into your DMs and not have read your bio and say inappropriate things? Yeah. Absolutely, they will. I tend to friend back or whatever, because you can make friends there, you can follow.
Yeah.
It's very much that social media kind of thing. In the very early days of me kind of having FetLife, the people I tended to friend were people I met maybe at a munch in person. They're like, hey, you want to connect on FetLife? And then we would connect that way. Other people, they only know people online. Some people are absolutely friend collectors. They just do the friend request to like anybody and everybody. One of my other, like, my radar goes up and I go, is if
Good night, Kim.
If somebody, typically a cis male dom, friend sends a friend request and I go to their profile, first of all, doms who are men have to be friends with JB before I friend them, because that's just a thing. Submissives and doms of any other gender, not a problem, whatever. But, so what I do is when it's typically that cis guy dom, air quote around dom, and I go to their profile and the only people they're friends with are very naked women, I'm like, oh, you're one of those collector people. This is not, no thank you, and I move on.
So, you know, and the thing about, yes, FetLife does have an app. The app is not very good.
Isn't it only available on Android as well? You can't get it on iPhone?
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
Because it's for a fetish site.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Apple's never going to let that happen.
So Apple's never going to pick it up. I don't believe you can even get it through Google Play.
That doesn't surprise me.
You have to download it directly
From FetLife?
from Fet.
That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me at all.
So it's not, the app itself. Even on whether I'm on iPad or on my phone, I just use it through the
browser. Yeah, there's good and bad. It's like any
Right.
community space. So there can be some really good groups based on whatever your kinks are or your role or whatever. And then there can be some really shitty ones. The DMs can be really, really bad. It can be also where you sometimes make friends. It's
Right.
it's like any other site. It's just geared specifically towards fetishes and kinks.
I mean, there are some jerks on on Fet, just like any other social media site. But you just have to not feel bad and use the block button.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
also,
it's there for. Yeah.
if you go in there, you make a profile, you look around, you hate the experience, you go, I don't want to be here anymore, and it's fine. Kinksters are actually everywhere. If there's a social media platform of some sort, Kink is there. Communities are there.
Right.
Are they harder to find on the non-Kink platforms? Absolutely.
Yeah.
For Kink-specific platforms, we like The Cage. Their site is thecage.co. Fetish.com is not too terrible. I was more aware of them and used to write for them when they were starting the community aspect up. And it was another one of those where the vibe for me was not good. So I was like,
Right.
But they purposely tried to provide informational, educational content on their site. So they've got a soft spot in my heart. So other platforms exist beyond FetLife. They all have their pros and cons. It's really about how you feel when you're engaging with it. FetLife is not the only one. It's just the biggest one.
Yeah.
We got some more. Andre said, any chance of more Eastim content coming? So we have had for over a year an Eastim cock ring that I would like somebody to use. And on me, wearing on him. And then I've been wanting to make that video for a very long time. So the plans are there.
Yeah.
That's all I got. The plans are there. The desire is there. The will, I don't know if the will's there, but the desire. Georgia Little said, I'd hang out with you. We could drink iced coffee and stare at the table. Now, Georgia Little, based on your name, I am presuming here, but my presumption would be that you're probably Southern too. And we can't do that. We would have to make polite talk. I could just feel my mama coming out of the woodwork to smack me. I wasn't polite. But also, yeah, I can usually, one-on-one, I can find something to talk about with somebody.
Yeah.
Usually. Okay. I'm scrolling. That's what you get for going to the bathroom, Siloing. Did I turn into a robot? I don't remember.
Hope not.
Here's the thing. In broad strokes, I tend to remember what I say. But the details? No. That's why I put the playback button exists. It's just now hitting 11 o'clock. If anybody's still here and still has questions, well, I know people are here. I can see you. Hi,
Yeah.
those of you who are here. But if you have questions, feel free to ask them. Never mind, JB yawning over there.
And
I'm belching, so it's fine. We're
Yeah.
a class act. right here.
I apologize for the yawns. Nobody. She's not boring me.
Yes, I am. He's just too nice to say otherwise. You don't sleep well anymore.
I'm still not sleeping well.
No, and I think it's completely understandable
Yeah.
to every one of us here.
So, yeah, I was. I don't remember what time we went to bed last night. It was relatively
10:30.
about 10:30.
I had to tell you it was 10:30, and
Yeah.
you were surprised.
And went to bed. I fell right to sleep, and then 3 o'clock this morning, I was wide awake, and yeah.
What time did you get out of the bed and turn the light on here and tap, tap, tap on your keyboard?
That was, I woke up in bed at 3. I tried to go back to sleep for about an hour, and I was out here on the computer at about 4 a.m. with my first cup of coffee.
That's when I woke up. Thank you. I went back to sleep, though. Silent Wing wants to know if we ever found out if Boris was, in fact, a mama. Boris was a spider that is dead, 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 dead.
We have seen no spawn. We have seen no spawn of Boris. No.
Boris spawn will be given the carpet cleaner treatment, meaning I will spray the fuck out of those things with the carpet, which I still have not even put away. Did the carpet cleaner kill Boris? No, JB killed Boris.
Yes.
But I see. So you have insect spray.
I told her where to look for this, and she could not find it. And,
he did not tell me where to look for it.
There it is, the Ritterbug.
But what is still on the table over there that I used?
Yeah, I know.
It's carpet cleaner.
Yeah, there's carpet cleaner. So Boris was very clean.
He smelled delightful. Not that I was getting close enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. TWTRV asks, have you thought about doing any classes at cons and such? We have definitely considered it. I've
tried to.
There for 2 years there's a little thing called a pandemic outside.
Really?
I'd actually canceled the one con we were going to go to.
I know.
To kind of learn how to be better at what we do. That was depressing. Anyway, we have certainly considered it. My big problem is I have no idea what the hell I would teach. And at this point, the barrier to that is childcare and raising kids, and it is something that we will likely do, but we may wait a few more years unless we can do something more local, which the nice thing about living in Florida, there's lots around here that we may be able to do at some point.
Oh, sure. There's lots of different things that go on here in Florida, just in cons. There's FPE. There's they just recently, I think, held Beyond Leather.
Yeah.
So there are several different things that occur around the Florida area. Excuse me.
Andre has a question that might bring a tear to your eye. Might even make you clench your jaw. Andre wants to know, I know it's been a tough year, so your last visit to get wood may have just been in and out, but are you finding the Purple Heart is easier to find along with the other prettier and higher end woods? That's the look of a very sad JB.
Yeah. Actually, the last time I was at the sawmill, and she was there as my witness for this.
He made me go.
Yes, I did. I bribed her with coffee. Good night, Eva. Apparently, Brazil, where is the main exporter of Purple Heart, has put Purple Heart on the no-cut list, which therefore is the Purple Heart that does exist is exponentially driving the price up. So not only is it going to be extremely hard to find,
it's going to be very expensive.
It's going to be very expensive.
We probably won't be carrying Purple Heart.
So, yeah.
For a while.
The future of Purple Heart is kind of up in the air. Other exotic woods been a little difficult to find. Certain ones, it comes in spurts. You find this wood one time, another wood another time.
And they have all gone up in price.
Yes.
The sawmill we go to, it's still reasonable when you compare it to other places.
Correct.
Chain places
going
and stuff.
to a chain place and buying it. Yes,
but
he's still more reasonable than that.
Compared to what we were buying the same kinds of cuts of woods from him 6 months a year ago to now, in some cases the prices have literally doubled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are taking our budget and stretching it, Because what we don't want to do, we would if we needed to, but what we're trying not to do is raise the prices of products, existing products, if we can still continue to make it for about the same price.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was telling us about this one the last time I was there. So,
Yep. So the little bit of Purple Heart that you've had coming out recently has been from your scrap pile.
yep.
Ended up being able to make pounder paddles. There's something flying in my face. Made three, I think, out of Purple Heart.
Correct.
Are you doing some knife blades?
I've got some knives that will be coming out, and that pretty much uses up what I've had in stock on the shelf of Purple Heart at this point. Yeah.
So, yeah. It's
Yeah.
sad. We've got, once you're in the right mindset, and we get restocked with other things, we have some other things we want to do that we think will be fun and unique and interesting and very nice looking enough that maybe the exotics won't be quite as missed. So we're hoping for.
Yeah.
We just have to have the time to work on those, because you've got to kind of get back to yourself. I see that Jerica's got a question. I'm trying to give you time to get the question in. So I'm not ignoring you, Jerica. I'm just giving you time for that to come through. TWTRV says, no, talking about classes teach that weird that I have no idea what I teach. They would love to take any class we would offer. I would have to narrow it down, and I saw it, but I don't see it again. Somebody meant, Sad Dog about kinky Etsy shop. I'm still learning that myself, so I'm not quite ready to teach anybody about that. But I did have a thought. You and I need to have a business meeting, because I have several thoughts. But I did have a thought about potentially adding a tier to our Patreon, specific for people who are interested in having either kinky businesses or online businesses of some sort, to share what little bit I have figured out over the years.
Learned, yeah.
I would not turn our entire Patreon into that, because that is not what we are all there for. But I thought that might be interesting to have a tier for people who do want that and who might benefit from that. That is just a thought, and nothing is actually happening. So if anybody would like that, it's not actually happened yet. But if you would like that, let me know, because that tells me there's something there to pursue. Okay. And I did see Ghost Sampson said, glad to catch the tail end of the stream. Just recently joined the Discord. Welcome.
Oh, welcome.
Okay, so Jerica's question says, I was with my ex, Daddy V. We were in a poly relationship. He had a longtime girlfriend. He liked to know what she did, but she didn't like to know what he did, and she wasn't really into DDLG or BDSM. We were together for a little over 5 months, and everything was great. He came down to see me. We spent a little over 48 hours together, played a little, and a few weeks later had a big fight with my mom and texted him about it, at 2 a.m., that I really needed my daddy. He called me the next day and asked what happened. I told him, because I consider not telling him, that to be lying. He got upset about the things she says, which is understandable. Then I told him I was afraid, and he wouldn't want to be with me anymore because of the drama. And he said that wouldn't happen, and that he loved me. Then he started talking to me less and less, and we were talking and texting pretty much every day. And then he just stopped texting me at all, altogether. And then about 4 weeks later, I get a phone call from a woman asking me why I was sending packages to her husband. I tried to call him and text him to ask about it, and nothing for about a week. And then he finally texts me back. And says, by no means do you talk to her. That's my girlfriend, and we're going through some things, and I didn't hear anything from him. I don't know what I did wrong or what happened. I'm thinking he got caught. He's been lying to you.
Right. You didn't do anything wrong.
You didn't do a damn thing wrong. You moved forward in a relationship based on information that was given to you. That sounds like a liar, pants on fire on his end, and he got caught.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So you didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Yeah. Liar, pants on fire. Him. It's weird because it is a very legitimate thing in some poly relationships where one partner's like, I need to know some information, and another partner's like, I don't want to know anything. But I see often enough people who use that legitimate thing as a way to go, oh, yeah, my partner doesn't want to know anything, because they don't want to know anything because they fucking don't know anything, and they might consider that cheating if they did know something that they're not actually poly. And it's not easy to parse that out if all you have is one side and the person saying all the right things. But to have moved forward based by trusting the information that was given to you and taking that person on faith that what they said was accurate, yeah, you've done nothing wrong.
No.
And it might, if that person calls you back, if the girlfriend calls you back, might be worth a conversation. Let him be mad, as long as it's not unsafe for you. You know, that's a consideration, of course. Right. But yeah, because that's my take on it. You did nothing wrong, and he got caught. I wish I could be more help, but yeah, no, you did nothing wrong. Andre says, in the case of there not being Purple Heart, can you suggest something non-exotic that may have a similar feel or look?
I would say probably the one that comes closest that's non-exotic would be some of the cherry.
Yeah, and black walnut. I mean, it's a different shade. It's not a purple, obviously.
Right.
But there's something. Black walnut to me does not replace rosewood, which is a beautiful brown striated wood, but it's a close second to it.
Yeah.
And with some of the black walnut, I'm waiting for those paddles over there off camera that nobody else can see to be done. They have some really cool, because of the way I guess the tree grew or whatever.
Grain pattern.
Grain pattern. That's not just the deep dark brown wood, but it's got a luxurious kind of look to it, which the exotic woods tend to have.
Some of the pieces that I got had both sapwood and hardwood, and there was actually some hints of bluing, that there was like light flashes of blue through the wood.
Yeah. So, yeah, cherry, especially when you get like a really good piece of cherry.
Some of the heavier cherry, like the curly cherry or the quilted cherry, yes.
Yeah, and then the black walnut, which we did get a big old chunk in, and you've been steady churning out some black walnut.
Yeah, I have.
Ghost Sampson said, I carve different animals and such out of basswood and would love to have the opportunity, referring to the Patreon thing. So...
Well, I think it's time for us to go have a cup of coffee and have a business meeting.
I know. I need to talk to you about some product ideas for my vanilla shop, but I would need to spend a little bit of money first.
I know.
And that's how our business meetings go. Okay.
Right?
Let's see. I'm scrolling. Spades Girl asked, do we do custom paddles? Yes. Currently, custom orders are basically not available until the summer because JB's still dealing with the aftermath of his mom's death and getting us restocked. Yeah. We do offer paddles that we treat them like custom, but we call made to order, where there's a set style and you just pick the colors. So that is available, but for actual true custom, that won't be available again until the summer. Right.
Yeah. I do. Like Kayla said, I am just trying to get caught up from the last couple months.
Yeah. I probably could, but then I wouldn't be able to see other things on the screen, Silent Wing. And I need to be able to see things on the screen, other things on the screen. TWTRV, we tried to do the buy a coffee thing several years ago. And they didn't like us.
They didn't like us, yeah, no.
Even though other kink and sex education and just sexy creators use it with no problem, we had a problem with our account. I reached out for support. I got ghosted, and then I couldn't get into our account again.
Yeah.
And the name Loving BDSM really scares people. So we actually don't use that because of that.
Any, some of those things like, buy me a coffee, or what was the one, Ko-Fi?
Yeah, coffee, Ko-fi.
yeah.
I don't know how they actually pronounce
Right.
it. Yeah, no.
You know, a lot of those things, they do not like to work with people like us to talk about the things that we do.
Yeah, and I know I have several like sex writer friends, sex toy reviewers, sex bloggers who use it with no problem, but they did not like us apparently.
No.
So yeah. And thank you, X. Would you like to be on our promo team?
Thank
yeah,
you.
we do have super chats here in YouTube for lives, and I turned on. I can't remember what they're called. They're called Super Thanks. It's a thing you can do on videos. Like if you find the information super helpful, and you're like, I would like to say thanks, but I don't want to join a Patreon, or like I turned that on. I don't know how it works though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spades Girl. All of our links are in the description box. So everything. I've got the one thing I have not made standard on all of our videos yet. I gotta go back and do in the settings is Etsy shop with our 2 products. My big fear is that I'm all hyped up about the Loving BDSM Etsy shop, and it'll be another 6 months before I get done.
Oh, good.
But yeah, the shop is the Kinkery. That's the paddles and canes and evil sticks. Oh my, thekinkery.com. We're Loving BDSM, all one word, on Etsy with our 2 digital products. I have a vanilla Etsy. You have a vanilla Etsy.
Yeah.
And we have this. So
Right.
yeah, Silent Wing, no, don't feel bad. Now, on my vanilla Etsy shop, it is called Book Dreams Shop, all one word. It's reader book themed. I do have 97 products, and I'm very proud of myself for that.
I know. You've outpaced me. I kind of let that...
Dude, for the past 2 months, you were a little busy.
I know that.
Okay.
I'm aware of that.
But you do that thing of, I know, I suck. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, and only crickets. You're right, Dustin. You're right.
Right.
We actually, and I'm sure it was one of those cast a wide net things. I don't think they sent it to us because we were special, but we had somebody from OnlyFans, and I think they were legit. They like worked for OnlyFans. Reach out at the very beginning when everything was going down, and so there was no bandwidth for anything.
Yeah.
A couple of times to go, y'all should start an OnlyFans. Oh, I'm hitting the mic stand. I'm sorry if you're like, what's that thumping? That's me. Sorry. Look, if I can't talk with my hands, I have to hit with my hands. So, and I was like, what would we put on OnlyFans that we're not putting out already? I don't want to create more content, and I don't want to have sex on the internet. I don't have a problem with anybody who has sex on the internet. I just don't want to be that person. Like, I have to create more content somewhere else. Now, I did have the thought of, but wait, on OnlyFans we could do actual demos. But who would pay us on a place like OnlyFans? I mean, I bet there's a market out there for you to spank my butt and for people to watch it. Okay, one, we clearly need to have a business meeting. 2, I don't think I need an OnlyFans. I don't think I need more to do. Yeah, Dustin, I saw the headline. I didn't read the article, but I saw that Carmen Electra has an OnlyFans. So, yes, X, I would be. Definitely talk with my hands. Silent Wing, standalone 6.5% fee shops are a breeze compared to what we pay annually to keep our site up and running, and it doesn't even have all the features I want the Kinkery to have.
Yeah.
And the sheer amount of time that goes into maintaining that site. I don't necessarily love Etsy's fees, but I know what amount of time I am saving by letting Etsy do it. I'll pay their fees. No, for the Kinkery, I would not have it any other way. I would put it, it's our own site. I'm happy to have it be our own site and our own branding and all of that. But yeah, that site doesn't even have half the features I want it to have, and we pay not, in my mind, not an insignificant amount of money to keep it running every year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it takes a lot to keep a website going, especially in e-commerce. So
Yeah.
you know what Etsy offers. Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about it either with the price increases and stuff. But yeah, in the long run, it's compared to what, you know, keeping up a website. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a you know, a lot of time
I
put
mean,
in on the back
hell,
end with that site.
we pay a very reasonable, because it was a friends and family discount, literally a monthly retainer for our tech guy. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of money, but we pay it every month, even when I don't have to reach out to him and go, something on the site is broken.
Yeah.
But we pay it every month, and then when something on the site is broken, he fixes it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so fucking grateful for him every time.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the
Yeah.
renewals of this extension and that extension. And I even thought about, I was like, should we do WooCommerce or should we go to Spotify? And then I looked at Spotify's fees and I was like, holy shit, we'll pay more. WooCommerce is the least expensive option because you only pay for what you need and part of it is free.
You mean Shopify? You said Spotify.
Did I say Spotify?
Yeah.
Sorry, Shopify. I don't know. I had a cider and I'm tired. Anyway, Shopify is cool, but it's expensive. WooCommerce is
Yeah.
the least expensive of your options, from what I have seen. But to have the cool site that does all the things you want, you either pay somebody to build that for you, and that is expensive, or you buy all the pieces parts yourself, and that becomes expensive in its own way. And that is my rant. See, I need to have a tier just for this in Patreon.
Yep.
So, Tayshu, it is harder to drive traffic to Shopify. It's hard to drive traffic to your WooCommerce site. I mean, we spent a year building up our social media. Actually, I focused on Instagram because I just liked it. We committed to a year of just, let's see what we could do and let's see what we could build it to. And I actually have not focused on Google search engine optimization the way I should. That would be another thing I could do so that I'm not depending on social media sites. And I know part of what I need to do that. That is also other work. What I like about Etsy is there are already people at Etsy. So I got to do some work on my end to get found on Etsy, but there are already people there.
Yeah.
So. Squarespace doesn't like sites like ours. I totally did all the sponsorships I heard on Squarespace. I was like, oh, a month free, 10% off. Let me go check it out. No, they don't like sites like ours.
No.
And TWTRV says that you should open an Only Sans for woodworking.
Ooh.
Oh God, Mr. Spock.
Well,
no, that's just the Kinkery Instagram. I haven't even started on the Loving BDSM Instagram.
Well, you know, I did have somebody say, you know, that I should do some, what do they call it? Boudoir photo shoots, with, you know, in the shop with the tools and.
If you would do that in an effort to be silly, I would totally post that to Instagram. Unironically. Just you and your work apron thing that you wear, and maybe nothing else. You know, the work boots and the apron, and your cute little tushy hanging out. Okay, we would get banned from all the sites, but those 5 minutes until we got banned would be fucking amazing. Anyway, okay, we've gotten silly, and Jericho said something serious, and I do want to mention it. Jericho says, I've been trying to put myself back out there, and it's been really hard. Are there any suggestions about meeting new people in the lifestyle? I'm really nervous and kind of scared to go to a Munch by myself.
Jericho, it is scary going to a Munch the first time. I had all these visions in my head the very first time I went to a Munch. I did not know what to expect. It was the best thing I ever did.
If you find the right community, you find your people, yeah, it can be amazing.
You know, you may not find the right community right off the bat, depending on where you are. But if you live in a big enough area, there generally are multiple communities. You know, one of the things most munches do, and if they have somebody good that runs the munch, you know, reach out to them and tell them, you know, look, I'm a little nervous. A lot of times they will have somebody greet you at the door.
If it's a small enough munch, they'll greet you at the door.
Right.
If it's a real big one, that's harder for them to do, but yeah.
You know, some munches, some of the bigger ones, like when I used to go to the Clearwater Munch, they had, excuse me, they had people who volunteered as greeters.
Yeah.
You know, and
the
and
Orlando one that we went to was like that. That was a big
Yes.
one. And they had people who volunteered.
So,
to do
you know, it is scary, yes, but, you know, for meeting people in the community, for meeting real people who, for the most part, are upstanding in the community.
Who are who they say they are, yeah.
Who are they? Yeah, exactly. That's going to be really your best way to do it.
The other thing I would say is whether you go to a munch, which we highly recommend if it's available to you, or you stick with something online. We happen to be partial to our own online community. My thing is always don't go with the intention to meet your next partner. Go to make friends, regardless
Right.
of who those folks are, because you may make friends with other submissives. You may meet a cool, dominant person who you vibe with. It might not lead to anything. It might, but if the reason you go is, okay, I've got to go meet the love of my kinky life, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself and your interactions with total strangers. And I think it sets you up for disappointment.
Yeah.
When you go to make friends, sorry, that's a kid texting me. When you go for the express purpose of making friends, one, the pressure's off.
Right.
Two, you don't know what connections you'll make that are genuine connections, people you really enjoy being around. And next thing you know, you potentially get pulled a little deeper into that community. You've made friends with a couple of maybe submissives, and you decide that, hey, we might all go to this party together because we feel comfortable being together and we're not going as, you know, single people. And that might be where you meet somebody that you might not have ever met because you didn't have this group of friends. You might meet a dom that 6 months down the road, you're like, wow, we've been having really good conversations and I really enjoy this person. And also, they're not waving around every red flag imaginable. Maybe there's something here, but maybe there's not. Maybe they pull you further into their group of kinky friends. And that's like, I don't... That's not going to work for everybody. I get it.
Right.
But I think that part of the problem is we put so much pressure on ourselves that every interaction with another kinky person, if it's not leading to whatever outcome we're looking for, then it's somehow a failure, when then we miss just really good friends and opportunities to get to know people in a community, so that then when you maybe meet a rando, you have friends to go to and go, do you know this person? What have you heard about this person? Oh, can I run something past you? They said this. What do you think? Like, it's not always about the romantic connection or the power exchange connection. Sometimes it's just having people that, you know, get you on some level, and that hopefully are good people that you can, you know, develop friendships with and trust. And then you've got these resources.
I mean, one of the things with, you know, like with Kayla and I, especially when we started to, you know, kind of develop a relationship, you know, and we've said this in podcasts before, you know, let's face it, we are more than our kinks. You know, we are more than our power exchange. And it was important that before we even dove into that we were friends, that I knew we were compatible outside of a power exchange or a sadist-masochist relationship. You know,
and you can develop those kinds of connections in online communities too.
Sure.
It would be wrong of us to ever like try to negate the power of an online community when we run an online community. We just like munches for the fact that you have a better chance of the person being who they say they are.
Right.
Believe me, the problems you find, not all, but some of the problems you find in online communities, they still exist in in-person communities. One of the last munches and clubs we went to before we moved to where we're at now had a person who I couldn't even fake liking this person. I mean, I knew things about him, and his vibe was just, I was like, I need you to get the fuck away from me. And my facial expression said that loud and clear.
Yeah.
He was actually, quote, kept around because, well, yeah, he's problematic, but if I keep him close, this is what the organizer of the community would say, then I know what he's doing and can warn people. And it was like, well, that's gross and awful, but also you kind of have a point. This is weird. So there were definitely still interpersonal dramas, lots of it, in in-person communities. We've gone to a munch where we walked in the room and went, these are not our people. I don't like the vibe here. And we never went back to that one. So it's, you know, in person is not perfect and it's not always easy. But when you find the right community for you, it can be well worth it. And if, you know, the in-person community is not able to give you what you need, then you seek out online communities and you can do the same thing. Make friends first. You know, build those kinds of relationships. And if something comes of it, great. But don't build those relationships with that secret thought in your mind of, ooh, this person will be my next dom, because then it becomes this transactional thing. And, you know, people can kind of sense that sometimes. And, but yeah, I think you get a community, a personal community, like your group of 3, 4, 5 people, however many, that have your back and that you can go to and that know you and that you feel comfortable with. And then, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to use this word. It's a little bit like networking, but not in a yucky corporate way, because those people will know people. And through those connections, you'll get to know people. And it's a slow process. It's not easy for those of us who are impatient at heart. I know, but I think quite frankly, especially if you've had several breakups and several broken hearts, slower is better. Yeah. It just gives you time to heal and learn what you need to learn and figure out, you know, whatever you need to figure out. And also then you get people that got your back. And I think we need that sometimes more than, you know, we need the next air quote perfect partner. And that's my lecture for the night. Sorry. So, Selling, if you are tired, please sleep.
Right.
I know that is a strange thing for you. Oh God. Oh yeah. Synergy. Yeah. I feel a twitch in my eye coming on. Oh. Yeah, no. There were some other buzzwords that would always be in the No, thank you. The principle of air quote networking is actually a good one. It just gets commodified and cheapened and becomes this gross transactional awkward thing, both in the corporate world and like non-business world. But the principles are sound. Like, go meet people and make connections, and you never know when you'll be like, hey, I met that person. Yeah, they're cool. Or, oh no, bad vibe. Yeah. Of course there is Silent Wing. Isn't there a Weird Al song for everything? I think there is. Oh, I should probably see what the kid wanted. Hope he's not on the side of the road.
Oh, God.
Aww. Oh, I am so happy for him. Hold on. I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, I think I know, since you're happy.
So, yeah, the band does not have to play at graduation tomorrow morning. So, the 16-year-olds at work, tomorrow, the high school band was supposed to play at the high school graduation, but it's super early in the morning, and the kid who worked until 11:30 tonight, I think he's either home or just now on his way home, I'm not 100% sure, was going to have to come home and be home by 11:30 at night and then wake up at 4:30 in the morning to drive himself out to the location for the graduation. And the text came in just before 11 tonight that because of the rain, the band does not have to be there tomorrow, so he can sleep in. He was trying to get somebody to work his shift for him tonight so he wouldn't have 11:30, come home at 11:30 at night, wake up at 4:30 the next morning. So it all works out. Optimization. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
No. Yeah, no. We, knock on wood, thankfully, there have been no ER trips. There have been many doctor's appointments. But there have been no ER trips since the last one. And the kid's got a cool scar that is very, because it's so new, it's so visible.
Yeah.
I do this like shudder thing every time I see it. Circle back. Oh, yes.
Ooh.
I'm amazed we're not all dizzy in the corporate world from all that circling back we're doing.
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, what is happening to our stream? We're getting a message.
Uh-oh.
I don't, if you can hear us, it tells us we're good on one side, but then YouTube says you're not good. You're not good at all. I don't know if you can even hear us. If you can hear us, let us know.
Mm-hmm. The silence said it just froze up when I was writing something down.
Yep, and yet I can see us there. That's annoying.
And on my pad, it's running fine so far. I don't know.
Maybe that's the internet telling us it's time to go to bed.
I blame YouTube.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, sure. So, there's my kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, good. Okay, the message went away from YouTube. Yay.
Oh, yay.
So, yeah, we got to have a lot of proud parent moments recently.
Yeah.
The 16-year-old is going to be a senior in high school next year. My brain cannot fathom it, really. I'm like, wait, I thought we were doing the y'all are babies forever thing. What do you mean you're about to be a full-fledged adult? And he interviewed for, tried out for, there was a whole process to be the captain, band captain for their 100-plus member band his senior year, and he got it. And it was stiff competition. It was several other kids who were qualified too. Multiple steps to the process. He got it. They did band awards, like an award ceremony for the high school band, and they do superlatives. And I always forgot what superlatives were because I haven't been in high school in 100 million years. And it was like most likely to this or best this. So they do silly ones. And the 16-year-old got worst driver in the band.
Yeah.
And the award was a certificate and a Matchbox car. And I'm sitting, it was a picnic thing. It was in nature. I was miserable, but also was happy to be there. Cause he's my baby. And, he's laughing at getting this award, but he's beet red, neck up. He's beet red. And he's kind of looking at me like, oh shit, what's mom going to say? They just called me the worst driver. And I yell out, I heckle him, and I go, I knew it. And he looks at me like, who is this lady? What happened to your social anxiety? And so then he sits down next to me, and we're looking at his little Matchbox car, and I lean over and I go, that's from your accident in September, right? Or October. Your accident, there's no other reason they would call you the worst driver, right? He's like, yeah, just the accident, Mom, just the accident. And then I remembered that the band, or maybe it's just the high school, somebody in the school started an Instagram account to post bad drivers, like bad parking in the school parking lot. And I know for a fact that he's been featured once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
Minimum. So I was like, oh no, you really are the worst driver. It's okay. And then the youngest just did his band concert, beginning band. He might be going to a band camp thing this summer. He has to decide. It's a present from his grandma. Thank you, Grandma. And he auditioned for the middle school jazz band. Yeah. And we won't know if he got in until next week. And I am on pins and needles more than anybody else. If what he told us about his audition is accurate, he's probably not getting in. But I'm proud of him for doing it because his anxiety is 10 times more than my anxiety. So, proud parents!
Right. Yeah. And Andre, getting hit by a car again is very low on my list.
Please don't.
I did not enjoy it the first time.
Yeah.
And hope that's something to not repeat. Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah, no. And good night, Nikki. Actually, good morning for you because you're in the UK. And yeah, Tayshu, the college shopping, we still don't know what he's doing. He wants to go away, but he also doesn't want to have to take out $50,000 in loans, so he might not go away. But yeah, I'm already dreading. I'm both dreading and looking forward to the college shopping, but his grandmother, I mean, I don't lean into the fact that my mom has financial security often. I really don't. My pride gets in the way a lot of times, but for the kids, I'll lean right on in, and I know she can't wait to go to Target. TWTRV says, so serious question. I'm just out of a 3-year DS relationship. I'm still shell-shocked from everything, but I have people wanting me to get back into BDSM. How soon is too soon? If you don't feel ready, it's not time. It's not time.
When you know, it's not a, there's no cut and dry time to say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's a very personal thing.
And a 3-year relationship, that's a long time
yeah.
to be with somebody.
It's one of those things, if you're asking when it's ready, you're not ready.
Yeah.
You will know when you're ready.
Right. And I think that, it's different for everybody. You have to kind of know yourself because I know me, I'll say I'm not ready. And it's not that I'm not ready. It's that I'll look for any excuse to not be ready. But that's a me thing. If the only way you can even consider thinking about it is because people from the outside are asking you and you're not thinking about what you want to be doing with it on your own, then you're probably not ready. There's no right timeline. There's no right way. If and when you feel ready, you also don't have to jump back in the way you were into it before either. I know some people who, when they're newly single, first of all, give yourself time to get through the grief of that breakup, right? Like, no matter how it happened, even if it was something you wanted, which based on the way you asked that question, I'm guessing that it was not in your plans at all. But even when it's something you want to happen, sometimes you have to kind of work through that. So give yourself time to grieve the end of the relationship. Give yourself time to feel what you feel, whatever that might be. Mm-hmm. And then what I know some people do, instead of jumping back into a power exchange relationship or playing or whatever, they'll do self-improvement stuff. They'll... I know this mostly from submissives, but doms can do it too for sure. They'll join submissive only groups where it's about working on themselves and what they want and what works for them and how they want to interact in power exchange outside of having a partner. Other people might go to workshops to learn skills like that aren't demos or workshops that aren't about interacting with a person or a partner. It's about improving yourself as a kinkster. But even then, you don't have to do that either. Like, you could just sit on your couch and eat ice cream for 6 months if you need to. I mean, whatever you need to do. But yeah, there's no timeline on any of that. Not at all. Not at all. Mr. Spock asked, how's the vomiting on the way to school thing going? Well, it's less vomiting and more retching. The vomit bowl has to go with us to school every morning because something's coming up. It is better-ish because it's not full vomit. It's painful for him. It's painful for me. He's out on anti-anxiety medication. I had 2 different medical professionals, 3, go, that is anxiety. I was like, well, I thought so too, but I figured I'd let y'all who went to school for this tell me. He's on an anti-anxiety medication, which is helping in some ways. We can see a difference. Yeah. I think it's the reason he's not full on heaving and we've pulled it back to a retch. But yeah, we're definitely still dealing with that. Yeah. And yet for all that anxiety that I did find out, and I was ready to go down to the school and start knocking heads together. He's absolutely, in a very typical middle school way, been made fun of, been bullied. He has somebody in his PE class who's been a total shit, and I absolutely told the school, and I'm pretty sure they've done not a fucking thing. Yeah. So it wasn't just like an overall, like, I'm an anxious person anxiety. It's clearly like there are people involved that are making me feel this way. And yet for all that anxiety and all that, he still auditioned for jazz band. That's the thing I'm so proud of. It's not, if he gets in, I'll be super happy because I know he wants to. And I'm happy to go to more band performances because I'm that kind of mom. But I'm just proud that he did it. Like, the kid can't go to school without every morning into a bowl that will for the rest of our lives be the vomit bowl. Even if I get to mix something in it later in a few years, it will still be the vomit bowl. You know, he's doing things that scare the shit out of him anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, and you're welcome, TWTRV.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I've let the youngest have more mental health days towards the end of this school year, just so he has a day where he doesn't have to heave in the car. We have a whole routine about drop off now. It's not as seamless as it used to be. It involves leaving later, getting to school, parking in the parking lot, which is not how we normally do it, giving him time to waiting for him to go, yeah, I think I can do this now, and then dropping him off. It's a whole process. I cannot wait for the end of the fucking school year. Oh my god. I cannot. Thursday is the last day of school.
Less than a week at this point.
Oh my god. For about 3 weeks, every day I dropped him off at school, I cried on the way home. I mean, it could have been because my husband was, had to live apart from me to take care of his dying mother. And, the youngest was vomiting daily, but that wasn't the real problem. Maybe it was I missed my daddy. But you know what? I cried every day for 30 weeks. Like,
yeah.
So, but, Junie, that's my attitude as well. I looked at him. I would not give him the trite bullshit of just ignore them or,
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
I was like, if you can, try to. I said, but here's the thing. Yeah, hurt people. We had that conversation. I was like, but they suck. And I think it was me validating it. Like, I did not act like it was no big deal. I didn't tell him he had to act like it was no big deal. I was like, they fucking suck. And I said, and here's the thing. They're about to go to because I think it's 8th graders. They're about to go to high school and they will be nothing. And somebody will do it to them. And it's bullshit. I got genuinely upset and let him see me have that reaction. I did not do the sticks and stones bullshit because we know what words can do to people. Like, I hate that. And I didn't tell him to just, I actually was like, I said, okay, what are you being teased about? Because there's a group of kids on his way to first period that tease him and they'll laugh. I said, what are you being, what? And that took weeks to get him to tell me. And I said, okay, what is it that they're laughing about? And he told me a couple things. And I said, here's the thing. You don't have to change that about yourself. If that's what you like and that's what you want, you go for it. I support you. I said, however, I can tell you what you can do differently if you want to do it differently. And he went, no, I like what it was something about what he's wearing or something. I like what I'm wearing. I'm like, then you need to fucking wear it. I said, but let's be real. This will happen. And what do you need? And what can we do? And blah. And I hope that just validating him helped a little bit. That's when we changed what time to go to school, because he was getting there early so he could get to his first class with plenty of time, because he is like his mother is very worried about being late.
Yeah.
And I said, well, wait, when you go to school a little bit later, do you avoid that crowd? He goes, yeah, sometimes. I'm like, well, do you want to do that? And he goes, we can. I'm like, hell yeah, we can. I can't make them stop because they're little shits, but we can make your life a little easier. Yeah. And then we started doing that.
But TWT said it best. Middle school, junior high.
Is the worst.
Middle school is horrible.
Oh God, I know, and he's just at the beginning. He's got 2 more years of it. Oh, I know. Sucks so much.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Not fun.
I honestly had not considered that. You can kind of do that at the school, sort of. I see parents park and then their kids walk. Had not considered it. I'm not sure. This is also his anxiety. He's not good with routine changes. So I'm not sure at this stage he would be okay with that, but that might be an idea for next year.
Yeah.
Based on he's having an evaluation done in a few weeks for other things that aren't anxiety. Based on what that outcome is, I will probably be up at the school this summer figuring out accommodations for him. And that might be part of it, is how he gets to school. I don't know. I don't know what will be available to him. I don't know how it works. So, but I absolutely will tell him that some of these people are bullshit. There's some kid, I think this kid's in 6th grade, is in band with him, has a couple classes with him, and is that frenemy kind of vibe. Like, he's nice to you and he wants to be nice to you, but otherwise he's saying like just mean shit to everybody, so lots of kids don't like him. 12-year-old gets in the car after band practice the other day and he goes, "See that kid over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the kid I was telling you about, Mom, who says mean shit to everybody." And I go, "Oh yeah, we don't like him." He was like, looked at me like, no, the vibe is off. No, I don't like that kid. Yeah, I'm not gonna do what my parents did. Turn the other cheek. Like, yeah, I'm certainly not going to say, okay, here's what you say to cut them down. And like, I'm not doing that, but I'm not going to act like, I went through it myself. I went through it in elementary school more than middle school. But that shit stays with you. And my parents were absolutely like, oh, it doesn't matter. It won't matter in 20 years. Well, what the fuck did I care at that age? That it wasn't, and it won't matter in 20 years on some level. But if you're traumatized, it absolutely will matter.
Right. No, I went through it too.
So, yeah. Yeah. There's a part of me that was like, I wish I was the kind of mom who could do homeschooling, but then I'm not the kind of mom that's going to do the social stuff, so he would be screwed and we get no socialization. So, I actually think if he gets the way they do, assuming they do it next year, the way they do jazz band with the middle school, they actually meet before school starts. Then they're in the band room the whole time until they've got to go to their first class. And part of me hopes he gets in for that experience, because then he gets there before the rest of the school's there. He would be with band kids, which most of them are okay. And I almost think that would take some of the anxiety out, because he loves going to band. Oh my God, he loves going to band. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Hey. We gotta. We got less than 10 minutes till midnight. I heard him and oh yeah, he didn't say anything important when he texted me. He just acknowledged. He's a good boy. He acknowledges his mom's text. He never leaves me on read. Well, one time he did, and I gave him shit for it. Now he doesn't. I never know if I'm doing, like, if what I'm doing is quote the air quote the right thing as a parent, but I feel like we're doing something right because they're good kids.
Yeah.
I can't protect them from all the shit. I can't make everything better for them. The weird thing is I'm actively making different choices than my parents made, and that's what feels weird and wrong, because I'm going, okay, that's how I was parented, and I turned out this way with my own traumas things. And I did okay. Like, I get that thinking, but I'm also like, well, let's just try and do it a different way and see what happens.
Yeah.
So, Jerica, yay, congrats. Jerica says, I've made my very first little friend. Yay! Cool. I mean, I'm a former band kid. We were okay but crazy. And I don't remember middle school so much, but in high school, we were also horny as fuck. TWTRV says, so a lighter topic. What is the best thing you've done this week?
Let's see.
What's the best thing you've done this week?
This week. Well, best thing I did this week was I shocked the heck out of the 12-year-old when I stopped at 7-Eleven to get him a drink and a snack.
That's so funny. Especially since he had forgotten his lunch today and didn't eat anything.
Yes.
Best thing I've done this week, if somebody had asked me right after I did it, I would not have said it was the best thing because I was a wreck afterwards. Fun times. Best thing I did this week was get ourselves back on a fucking podcast recording / live stream.
Yeah.
I was a wreck afterwards. My head was not in a good place, but
I know.
Now I'm like, okay, I feel back to myself and back to normal.
It did feel good to sit down and be in front of the mic and the camera again.
Yeah, it felt normal.
It's that little step back to normal. Yes, absolutely.
And for one time at band camp was hot, sweaty, and very busy. But one time on a band bus in the dark is not one time. There's one memorable time. Did I get fingered under a blanket after a football game by the senior who was in my band section? He was the captain or whatever the term we used at the time he was our section leader. I thought he was so sexy. He really liked my best friend, but he was like, I'll settle for you until she's free. Yeah, I did get fingered on a bus in the middle of the night.
Okay.
The under a blanket. The best band trips always involved travel at night, and the best ones were on a charter bus. School bus wasn't as comfortable. It wasn't much. Yeah, I have distinct memories out with guys, and then the time I got fingered, and then I definitely was a seat or two away from people having sex. Pretty sure I witnessed a blowjob. Not witnessed it. They used a blanket too. Yeah. So the oldest was telling me the way they deal with this in his band is that if it's one single bus that they're on, girls on one side, boys on the other, and I was the one I went, but what if they're neither? And he's like, you know how that goes, Mom. I'm like, I know, but still, I'm just saying. And then and if there's multiple buses, it might be girls on one bus, boys on another bus. And I was like, so they just assume nobody in the band is gay, and like, like, and then, he was like, think of where we live, Mom. Even if they are, they're not going to. I was like, that's true. They're probably not. That sucks. So that's how this school handled it. Our school, did we have chaperones dotted along the bus? Sure, we did. Did they frequently do hand check? Sure. But you couldn't keep your hands up the whole bus ride, and they weren't going to take blankets from us when it was like a December, like late season game, or like, you were cold. They knew you were cold. Just saying. It was a hornier and yet somehow more innocent time.
I can't tell any of my stories, so.
No, we'll probably go to jail.
You're right.
Jericho, that's wonderful. Jericho said, bought a collar just for myself. Makes me feel safe. Good for you. No, Halloween, you cannot trust blankets on a bus. Yeah. But I've never had a desire to be a band mom or to chaperone. Not a fucking thing. Have never chaperoned anything. Pre-K. The only way the kids got to go on field trips is if their parent came. Okay, that was not chaperoning. That was walking with my child and holding my child's hand, and that's all that fucking matter. But no. And I'm like, and I have said to the oldest many times, look, I know what the hell goes on the bus. And that's when he was like, Mom, we can't. Nothing happens. They separate us by sex, by gender. And I was like, okay, well, that's funny on them, assuming that everybody's straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
They may be, Mr. Spock. They may be. I don't know.
I missed it.
Said the statute of limitations may be up.
My favorite is we've never told, because we shouldn't. We've never told the kids any explicit stories. And I think you've even sugarcoated, like downplayed some stories for me as well. Mostly because he tells me a little bit and I go, oh my God, how were you not arrested?
Luck.
Right. But we've made comments to especially the oldest of like your seedy past.
Yeah.
And you immediately become much cooler.
I know, right?
Like,
That's
wait,
scary.
what are you not telling
That's
me?
scary. Yeah.
X, right?
I
Exactly.
I will just say that I started out as an enterprising young man at a very young age.
You were an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
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 So glad you didn't go to jail. Holy shit.
Oh. Man, oh man.
Jerica, my thoughts, and I'll let you answer as well, JB. My thoughts on self-collaring are if it makes you happy, then you should do it and fuck what anybody else says.
Right.
I'm not about that gatekeeping life. It's not in anything, but definitely not in kink. It doesn't have to be for me for it to be perfectly valid for somebody else. And as long as it makes you happy, do it.
Right.
Fuck anybody else and what they say.
Hell with what they say. Anybody else says. Yeah. No.
So, yeah. It's 11:59 according
It
to
is.
the computer clock.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to go to bed so I could wake up in 3 hours.
That sounds like a you problem for you. I plan on how was it described to me today? To snore like I'm growling. So here's how you should know you're spoiled. He tells me, and I'm not, God knows I'm no, what's the word I want? There's a word. There's a, I can't think of the word. Somebody will know the expression, hopefully. Anyway, I am who I am. So I'm not like embarrassed to have found out I snored. But this is how little I snore to the point that I keep you awake. And how often the opposite occurs. I said, why didn't you just nudge me and get me to roll over? He goes, what? I'm like, when you snore like a fucking freight train and I can't go back to sleep, I push you and nudge you until you roll over and then you stop and then I can go back to sleep. And he goes, oh. It's like, yeah. I said, you have my permission. If I'm snoring that badly, just roll me the fuck over.
Mr. Spock, a rubber mallet might help.
Yes, Silent Wing, y'all are so efficient you ran out of talking points on time. Also, I'm starting to feel the sleepiness because when was the last time we stayed up till midnight?
It's been a while.
March?
Yeah.
Because we didn't do this in April.
No.
So.
No.
We should probably go.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I think it's time to say goodnight.
Good night. Look, I was just following the instructions of my daddy dog. Love you, mean it.
Oh, the snark, the snark.
Look, when I'm not sassy and snarky, you want to know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, X. No. Extra time would come in the form of an extra live stream, not more time on this one. I was informed the other day that I have to help take apart a bunk bed and put together a new bed this weekend.
Correct. Correct.
No, X. No, we're good. No. You don't need to read it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we're making sure we're in a groove, Mr. Spock, and it does not turn into a rut. We were in a rut before all this. Now we're... the wheels have fallen off, so I don't know what we're in.
Yeah.
Saying,
All right.
Saying groove and rut and the wheels made me think of... I want to say wheelbarrow, but that's wrong. The carts that they use, like, in the olden days when they were traveling across the country and, like, kicking indigenous people off their land to settle. Wagons! Proof I'm tired.
Yeah, we need to... we need to click the button and say goodnight now.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Covered wagon, thank you. I'm so glad somebody knows what I mean. I'm still trying to... I'm still trying to think what I meant when I was like, because I was thinking wilting flower, and that was not the phrase I wanted earlier. It was no, not weeping. That's... Oh, there's an expression. There's an expression. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna go now, y'all. We're gonna go now.
Yes.
Thank y'all for
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here.
If you watch later, I'm sorry none of this makes sense unless you follow the live chat very carefully. Okay. Okay, we love y'all. We will talk to y'all later. Thanks for being here. And we're gonna go. Okay, bye.
Bye.